first chapter of your economics. So my dear students, welcome on the platform Deeksha Vedantu. This is your SST faculty Tanvi Mam. As you guys are aware about the new books, new curriculum, one more thing you should be aware about is that in your SST, extra subject will be there and that is economics. So you are aware about that. Great. Now talking about this very first chapter, basically this is 8th chapter in your part 1 book. Okay, this will be the 8th chapter in your part 1 book and first chapter for your economics. Title is Building Blocks in Economics, the Problem of Choices. See beta, this is one of the easiest chapter that you are going to study in your class 9. Yes, trust me when I say that, easiest. And if you're feeling that ma'am every time you say that but it is not actually true, this time it is pretty true. But this is the easiest chapter. Why? Because it contains the basics. The building block, the word itself tells us that it is the basics of economics. What actually is economics, right? As we start studying history, what is the first thing we study? What is definition of history by? Who is the father of history? What actually we are going to study in history? What are the sources of it? Similarly, what we are going to study in this chapter is what does economics deal with? Right? Economics, what you think right now is only about money, but that regulation of money, how it is going on, it's not that easy that RBI is printing money and circulating in the market. It's not like that. Rather, there are a lot of calculation, there are surveys done, but on the basis of what? That is the entire, what we can say, the base of this chapter today. Okay, next is about what are the key questions in economics. How do different economic system answer them? Like in the world, not every country is following the same economic system. Like if I talk about Russia, it's completely different of what is following in USA. That is what we have to figure out today. So I hope everyone out there is ready, taking a pen and the paper in your hand, because this book is not released in market, so you need to make the notes. And in case if you want the beta notes of this particular video, you can go in through the description and you will find a link, that is session PDF link, which is easily downloadable for you. Okay, so starting this session beta, economics is about making choices. See, every day, right? Every day we wake up, we have some demands in our mind that today I will ask my father to buy me some pens, some copy. I need to buy a new shoes. I need to buy a new bike sometimes. Or if you're thinking about a new phone, every day we wake up, we think about something. Oh, okay. Something about like buying, something about eating, something about going out. Okay? What is that? But every day, every individual, like you are an individual, but there might be a business person running an empire, thinking about what? Buying assets for the company, buying the necessities for the employees, right? Similarly, there might be a government who is sitting and thinking about what to do for a country, what are the choices of the country. This year or this financial year, we will be implementing subsidy for certain items. So these are what all choices. Okay? But among those choices, one thing is pretty sure, that you wanted iPhone 17 Pro Max, but do you really get it? No, na. We need to adjust sometimes. We need to make choices based upon the situations. And this is what actually economics tells us. Okay, the everyday decisions are really based upon the economic choices, not the choices which you have in your mind, because according to that, na, we will go bankrupt for sure. I will go bankrupt for sure, not sure about you. So what I mean to say here is, beta, like for example, you got the pocket money, you went out to your coaching institution. On the way, you find a snack shop as well as a stationery shop, and now tomorrow is your exam, you needed a copy now, but there will be a choice that you want to eat or you want to buy that stationery, because you have what? Limited money, right? Pay attention to the word I'm telling you here, that is limited money. Okay, the next one is about there are in your school there are 5 library copies, like there are 5 copies of a book, but there are 20 students. Now the question is, what will the school do? Will the school ask the students to adjust, that some of the days you read it, some of the days you read it, or they will outrightly buy the 15 rest copies? This depends upon the choices, the economic choices, what is actually the budget of the school. The next is like what to grow. There is a farmer is thinking about to grow the crops but has limited scope to buy the fertilizer, seeds, etc. Again, the choices depending on the pocket of the farmer. Same is with the government, that whether the government should first start the project regarding making the highways or the hospital, and this too depends upon the economic choices. So beta, we have what? We have limited resources, but we have unlimited demands, and this is actually what the chapter is going to tell you. Again, let me tell you the context. This chapter is about building blocks in economics. That means the basics of economics, small steps. We are not going to like on the first day you're studying a chapter, you're studying a whole new syllabus, new book particularly, and a new topic, new content, and you will not be I will not going to teach you the economy of a country from the very first day. And similar is with NCERT. So what we did, let's study about an individual. Okay, let's take the examples of our daily life. So we took these examples, and what we concluded is beta, everything in our life depends upon our choices. But here it's not about our choices. It will only become true on the basis of our economic choices, because there is a huge difference between needs and wants. Why you want everything? I want everything. But is it like a possibility that I can buy that? No. So beta, there are certain things in the life of an individual which becomes the need. Like if I tell you that there was a slogan popular in Hindi, roti kapda and makan, but right now do you think that only roti kapda and makan is the necessity? By roti kapda makan I mean food, clothing, shelter. Do you think that now this is only necessity? No beta. Even the United Nations definition say this to us, that by now the necessity includes the basic healthcare services as well as the education. So these are the needs. We need to have a food, we need to go to school, we need to buy books, right? We need to buy fruits, we need to have good clothing and shelter for sure. But there are certain luxuries we are wishing to get, and that is what we want, right? Every day we have a desire. We have a desire to buy a gadget, that PS yaar, mama please, papa please, right? Please please give me, I'll score good marks in 10th. No. If you will get the PS, for sure you will not. So vacations, luxuries, they are unlimited and keep on changing day by day. But yes beta, according to the economic budget of a family who is able to afford it, these things are not wants, these are their basic things which they have. So from a person to person, what differs? Needs and wants. From the territory to territory, what differs? Needs and wants. From nation to nation, what differs? Needs and wants. Foreign citizen living in USA, car is a basic thing, but in India, buying a car is a big thing. Getting my point? So bacha, there are differences, and these differences depends upon our economic choices among needs and wants. I hope this basic thing is very much clear to all of you right now. Right? Now comes to the point, one thing I was just talking about here was resources. Okay? What I was talking about here was resources. But see, for the development, pay attention for anything, for your wants, okay, for your needs, anything, one thing is very much necessary, that is resources. Like you eat food, why? Because crops are available, crops is the resource. Okay, you go on scooty, why? Because fuel is there and fuel is a resource. So basically bacha, resource is everything that is used by, like everything in the environment that is used by you, that is useful by you, that is economically available, right, around you, physically available, and it's affordable too by you. That is what is known as bacha resources. But we are pretty sure that resources are limited. In a single day, if you ask your parents that I want to eat the pizza for the entire year, do you get it? Will you get it? No, bhaiya, you will get something else. So why? Because there are limited resources and our choices depends upon these resources. right? Pay attention to that. Beta, resources are the factors used to produce goods and services. I am telling you small examples, but we have to gradually go to the nation. We have to talk about larger scale, because economics is not the study of only a single individual. It is the study of country's market share. Getting my point? So resources are the factors used to produce goods and services. By if you want to start a business, small business at your house of making papad, for example, there are a lot of women doing it, right? They want to start it. Will they need the resources? Yes, they will need flour, they will need water, they will need some labor. Isn't it? So when for the nation, bacha, we need to make goods and services, we need some resources. And what are those resources? There are 4 factors of production. However, there are how many factors of production? 4. Land, labor, capital, technology. A question that is definitely going to come, what are the factors of production? What are the factors of production? This chapter is for sure going to come in your exams, and you will there write land, labor, capital and technology. You can even use example if the question is for more marks. Okay, you can use the example for the production of cotton, for example. That cotton needs to be produced on the land. Okay, labor is required for that because it needs farming. Capital is required then to start the machinery to convert it into yarn and later to cloth, isn't it? And then we require technology to brand it, to like transport it, and the communication is required to make people aware about that cloth. Isn't it, bacha? So they can be natural, the resources, pay attention. They can be natural like water, coal or soil, etc. Even they can be human made, and one of them is capital and technology. The amount of money required to start a business or the production, and the technology which facilitate it's like internet, social media, promotion, marketing, transport, communication, etc. So what is a resource, beta? Anything that is required to make the goods and services in a nation is known as resource. Anything that is useful by an individual is a resource. Okay, and that resource can be natural or man-made. Okay, it's human made or it can be natural. Getting my point? The same resource have many alternative uses, so we must have to choose. Now what is that? What is that? Let me tell you, beta. So I have this very good example for this. No, why I'm saying no. So I have this great example for this is the example of Zudio and Zara, right? Brand of the same owner, but there are 2 different brands. Why? Because of the choices. See, in India or in the world, there are 2 types of population. Many type of population, but I am categorizing them as 2 type of population. One is poor population, what I can consider that low income group of people. One is high income group of people. So what that brand did, na, it divided the brands, it divided the product according to the choices, and we get it in Zudio and Zara. So the high class people go to Zara and the low class people go to, I won't categorize that low class people go to Zudio, but the people who have low budget in comparison to the Zara spends, they will choose to go to Zudio. So here I'm talking about the choices. I'm talking about the choices. We are not categorizing, beta. There are people using iPhones, there are people using Androids. The prices may be same, but it depends upon the choices. There are times when because of the prices, people choose different products. Okay, and here we are talking about choices. Choosing one, use means giving up the another. For obvious, by if you are going to Zudio, that means you're not going to Zara. And if you are choosing this one product, you are what we can say adjusting for the another product or giving up for the another product, isn't it? And that is known as opportunity cost. Right? That is known as what? Opportunity cost, the value of next best option you gave up. Why you gave up? Because of your economic choices, because of your budget, because it was not affordable, or because it was not according to your expectations. Maybe the product is bad, right? Not only the money will be the only criteria for opportunity cost. It can be anything. It can be quality, it can be regions, etc. So what is opportunity cost, beta? You choose one product over the other product. That is known as opportunity cost in our NCERT book. I hope that somewhere your NCERT looks like that. It is more clear to you in a very good example of a farmer. Right? Let's take the farmer example in a country, bacha. So, what is taken here? When one option is chosen, the other is given up. This is known as opportunity cost. The value of what you gave up is known as opportunity cost. Okay? There is a farmer. Okay, now there is a farmer, beta, and this farmer has limited land. Okay, bhai, this farmer has, wait, the page went there, we have to study from here. So the farmer has a limited land. Okay, for example, this farmer had 1 acre of land, right? Along with that, he or she has limited availability of water as well as limited availability of labor. But he know that, bhaiya, this is what I have. So as he know this is what I have, he had two choices this Rabi season. Okay, he had two choices this Rabi season, either to grow wheat or to grow barley. Let's take the example of barley. Okay, he has two choices, either to grow wheat or to grow barley. Okay, must choose. Either he will grow barley or wheat, but when he is choosing barley, he is giving up to the next alternative. See, beta, right? When a farmer is there, okay, there are different farmers. Some of them are growing cotton, some of them are growing sugarcane, some of them are growing wheat, some of them are growing barley. Why they are doing it? Because they have different land, amount of land they have different type of water available in their market, labor available in their market, or economic capacity to buy the products or the investment required for that. For example, let me tell you, there is a farmer, right? There is a farmer in Punjab. Okay, this farmer choose to grow rice. Why? This farmer choose to grow rice because he have land, labor, water, whatever required to grow the rice. But there is a farmer in Gujarat who wish to grow rice, right? Who wish to grow rice, that I can grow rice because it has lot of income, but do not grow it. Why? Because water was not available. So what he grow was any of the, what we can say, pulse or any of the nutritional food, because that region contains this only. So what I am telling, there are choices among the farmer. They choose the best but leave the another option, and that option is known as what? Opportunity cost. The second option is itself known as beta opportunity cost. Let us see a curve that is formed by because of this opportunity cost, that is possible production possibility curve. What? Production possibility curve. ठीक है, you are a farmer, you have a land and you are aware about that if I use this 100% of the land, I can grow 100 kgs of barley. ठीक है, 100 kgs of barley, but in this you will maximize, like you will use maximum land. What if you want to grow wheat? This wheat will not be grown when you are growing 100 kgs of what, bacha? Barley over here. This becomes, the possibility of the growing wheat becomes 0 and the possibility here becomes 100%, isn't it? But what if someday farmer thinks that let me reduce the production of barley and grow some of the wheat? There can be a chance. So pay attention to this curve, beta. This is the farmer growing barley and this is the curve of the farmer growing wheat. There was a time when no wheat was grown by the farmer, but no barley was grown by the farmer, but 100% of the wheat was grown by the farmer. The curve will look like this, but somewhere the farmer decided to grow some of the some of the barley, but some around 9 here. See, 25% of barley and some around 90% of wheat. The curve will grow here, right? And next day he increased more production of barley, reduced the production of wheat. So this is what is known as possibility curve. Beta, their opportunity cost leads to what? Possibility curve. Possibility of what? Production. If you are growing 100% of something, you are not choosing something for obvious, right? If there is an option given to you, beta, eat pasta outside or momo, you will be eating any one thing. The mother gave you the choice. Now you chose what? I will be eating momo. So you are eating this momo but not choosing the other one. That is known as opportunity cost. Similar in the production, if you are making the use of resources, land, labor, capital to produce something, you are not choosing something, that is opportunity cost. But somehow if you're balancing them, right, the one production will be adjusted somewhere. Okay, and that creates the production possibility curve. Hope this is pretty clear to all the students watching me right now. It's not that tough, it seems so. Now, what does economy actually deals? Do we need to just study about the resources, about the PPC, about the opportunity class? No, beta. Now, here the chapter actually begins. Right? Here the chapter, what were we studying up till 20 minutes, ma'am? That was the building block. That was the basics of the chapter. And the chapter says that, beta, this word economics word comes from oikonomia. Right? What it is? Oikonomia, which actually means what? Household management. Arey bhai, in economics, are we just managing the house? See, in every house that economics is going on, your father and mother and sitting together talking about, bhai, this was the income of this month and we spent this much, we have money left, can we go for outing? Or sometimes like, oh my God, we spent a lot this month, we will be sacrificing the needs. That is known as what? Management. Similarly, someone owning a factory, that's the household for the person. Someone managing the nation, that's the household for the person. So economy can be for individual, for an enterprise, for a nation too. Coming back to the topic, economics word came from a word that is oikonomia, where oiko stands for household and nemin stands for management. We can together called it as household management. What do we call it as? Household management. Beta, economy study how people and society make choices. Out of that limited resource, we have limited, only conclusion of this entire chapter is you have limited scope and now you have to make the choices. And you will make that choice on the basis of economy, or I can say money in your pocket. And unlimited wants leads you to what? Depression. That's the truth. So it looks at how consumer, that means the person consuming the product, producers, the person making the product, government who is making this management, and the financial institutions like RBI making money. When they interact with each other, it forms economy. Bacha, the economy of a house depends on the income of your father and mother, the spendings or the dependence on the family, isn't it? Similarly, for the nation, what happens? There is a body who looks after the financial institutions, like RBI is there, other institutions are there, government who need to look at the market demand and supply, and then government will ask the producers to make that or make this much, right? Or there will be private individuals producing in the market, and then the entire nation, citizens who are consuming those products. Okay, the consumers are sometimes not only limited to the nation, rather these products are also being sold outside world. The management of this entire system, in which we have producers, consumers, governments, financial institutions, is known as economics. Okay, getting it? Let's take it lighter, because this is one of the easiest chapter, bhai. So beta, all the decisions are taken on the basis of data as well as analysis. So it's not random decisions that someday government will say RBI, "Arey bhai, today na print this much of money, notes." No, not possible. Everything in the market is going on the basis of data and analysis. No guesswork is going on. Economic surveys are being conducted, reports are being presented, and financial statements are being given. Like, if you are aware about that, we are being told every time that the financial year starts from the month of April to March. What's that financial year? Basically, to calculate all the revenue as well as the expenses. ठीक है, we see that every year in the month of February, initially it was not in February, now it's shifted to the month of February, budget is presented by the government, right? For the central government also, for the state government also. We know about the finance minister of India, right? You might be seeing a lot of memes around your social media accounts, right? So basically what we are telling here is that either it be family, individual, everyone has to manage the income and expenses, which is known as economics, oikonomia. Okay, oikonomia, sorry, not nemia. ठीक है? So now what economy is, beta? The state of a country or a region in terms of production and consumption of goods and services and their flow in the market is known as economy. ठीक है? What are the economic entities? Actually this economy comes from which entities? The one person, there will be a producer, right? Another person, there will be a consumer who is consuming the product. There will be government to look out the affairs, and on the behalf of these government, institutions will be working on, like RBI. Getting my point? Like RBI or Ministry of Economics. ठीक है, Ministry of Finance particularly, not economics. Then we have data. What data? Which have facts, statistics, that how much money collected, spent where, survey being done for the entire nation, that number of dams were built in the country this year, number of dams needed for the next year. You know that every year we have an economic survey, right? This economic survey basically depends upon policy making. Like government every year makes the policy, how much money to be expended on the nation, how much taxes to be collected from the citizens of the nation. Similarly, here economics talks about the finances, the investors who put money on, right? Who will be helping the government in making the dams if taxes are less. ठीक, in a country who are the private, what we can say, leaders releasing big projects, right? So there is financing, who is giving money, policy making, research and education, business consulting. On the basis of these four pillars, we have the economic survey of India. What is the economic survey, beta? It is an annual document. See, this is an annual document. You know, lot of pages will be there. It will be a PDF particularly released by Ministry of Finance. Pay attention to this. It is very important. So what is the economic survey? It is an annual document that is prepared by the Ministry of Finance every year, that is presented in the parliament just before the union budget. Again, I am telling you, beta, every year in the month of February, ठीक है, union budget is presented by the finance minister in front of the parliament. It is then discussed, then accepted, voting is being done, and once approved by the members of parliament, it is only then passed. Now the question is, ma'am, actually this budget of India have what, right? It contains what? You know, there is an article given in Indian Constitution that this budget will be presented every year. It contains details of, right? It contains details of all the revenue in a nation as well as the expenditure, the money that will be spent and the income that will be generated. Now this document not only talks about future, also talks about past. Basically, it reviews the past year's performance, that this much budget was allocated for the government, what's revenue, what's expenditure, what is the growth overall. ठीक है, in the different sectors like education, industry, agriculture, employment, about inflation, health, and many more. The list is so long, right? Even it tells us about the challenges and the opportunities we saw in this year, and then that needs to be a blueprint for the upcoming budget. This is economic survey, annually published. Finance Minister, Ministry of Finance, contains these details. So basically this helps in policy making by this give a clear vision to the government by that this is going on in the nation, this is the market strategy, this is the money strategy, these are the points to be noticed, and here are the areas. Like for example, the data this year tells us that the education growth is not more, so we need to put more money, we need to start certain schemes, right? Needs more hospital in the nation because the last year the performance growth was less, then hence they will focus on health services. So I'm just telling you a reference. Do not fight here telling that ma'am they are not giving money, they are just having corruption. That's right now not the topic of this. Okay? So a question that is being asked, beta, always being asked, see, the population of India is also increasing day by day. We always compare countries like developed country, developing country, underdeveloped country. Do you ever feel that the country wants themselves to be developing or underdeveloped? No. Like, we always ask a question. Your parents will be, oh, you scored just 7 out of 10. There might be topper in your class who scored 10 on 10. Is it? But do you actually want to be a medium student? No, you also want to be a topper. Similarly, every nation wants growth. Every nation wants to be a developed nation. But what happened now, beta? The geography, the population, the regional differences in all the countries are different, right? In some of the countries, they are so full with the resources that the development is going so far. But let's take the example of Japan. You know that Japan is a nation which do not have any natural resources, but they find out the strategy to utilize their human resources. So somewhere that management, that balance needs to be done to boost your economy, right? But the problem lies with unlimited wants but limited resources. Whenever your wants, your demands. Now see, what I am here using, your wants. I am not using needs. But your needs though, every nation have to give. But here I use the word wants. If there are unlimited wants and limited resources, there will be scarcity of choices. You need to think about what to produce, how to produce, from whom to produce. You have to think more about it. When there is a farmer with limited resource, he will think that by what should I produce that it save my investment in that. It implies less investment and give more profit, isn't it? How to produce is, from whom to produce is, this will be asked when the problem is what? Unlimited wants and the limited resources. So now here I will tell you an example what to produce. For an example, bacha, there is water intensive crops. There are water intensive crops like sugarcane and rice which needs a lot of water. However, they give high profit when you get the return. They give high profit, they support sugar, because see, if we are making sugarcane, it will be helpful in sugarcane industry. And here one more topic is going on in India, ethanol. So sugarcane can be used to make ethanol and then keep the rest world polluted. However, but use lot of water. Are you a farmer living in the region where is drought prone area, will find any way to use this water intensive crops, irrespective that this crop will give you profit? But is it possible? No. What to produce depends upon the resources available by you. Rather, there is a drought prone area, okay, and now you will grow what? Drought resistant crops, millets, pulses. They don't give you as much profit as is given by sugarcane and rice, but you will choose it because it saves water, it improves soil health and promotes sustainable farming. So there is a goal, beta, which depends on the resources, which good and how much. Producers weigh short-term gains along long-term sustainability. But however, yes, if you have this availability, what you will do? There is no choice between points. You will choose this one which have more income and which will affect the sustainability so far. But if you have limited resources, then you need to think. Now, for whom to produce? Acha. We discussed about what to produce, for whom to produce. Now, this is also a very good question. Like I gave you the example of Zudio and Zara. Right? They know for whom to produce. In an economy, the producers, right? The producers makes the product on the basis of purchasing power. Now, purchasing power is basically the capacity of the consumers to buy the product, right? Let's take the example of shoes. Let's the basic example of shoes. Like we know that beta school shoes are so simple and they're not that expensive at the leather shoes and many other shoes that are very expensive in the market. Why? Because there is something that is needed by everyone in the society. They are kept simple, durable and affordable. But again, seeing the choices of public, we know that there should be the demand of office shoes, so the producer made it. There will be the choice for sports shoes, producer made it. There is the choice for casual shoes, producer made it. There was demand in the market, hence Virat Kohli launched the shoes 1-8. But whatever his brand is, I don't know. So, but the point here is everyone able to buy that? No. He chose his public, that for whom I am producing. Like Zara choose the public for whom I am producing, as well as Judio too. So beta, there are 3 questions that is dealt here. What to produce will be decided on the basis of resources. Whom to produce will be decided on the purchasing power of an individual, and how to produce is also a question. How to produce actually depends upon the resources also. See, there are 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital and technology. ठीक है, land, labor, capital and technology. The varying products depends upon the various factors of production. If you are wanting to start a business, you need a land to make the office. You need labor to work in your office. You need money, that's capital, and you need technology to promote that. Similarly, like labor intensive. Now what is that? There are certain areas where labor is demanded more than technology. And what's that? Agriculture, labor intensive. If you will see that there is an IT company and the land, okay, and the land people working on it, where more people are required to work, people, I'm not talking about computers, agriculture sector. For irrigation, for handicraft to work, who is more required? Beta, these industries are labor intense. Some of them are capital incentive. Like if you want to start a big project of steel making, what you will require? More people? No, you require more money. Okay? So the choices depends on the cost of machine, technology, the product and the government. You want to start a business, you will see that what you can afford. If you can afford to buy big machines, you will go for manufacturing unit. But if you can't, you can just afford a land and can afford labors, you will go to the agriculture sector. So your choices in economy depends upon these 3 questions. Hope now everything is clear to everyone. Right? So this was about individuals, beta. But when I told you about the economy of a nation, I just told you one important body is there, that is government, isn't it? But do you feel that the government of USA take decisions in the same manner we are taking? Or the government of Pakistan is taking economic decisions as we are taking? No. There are differences in the economic decisions. Why? Because there are different economic systems in the market. What the question is? There are different economic systems. Let's have a look at these economic systems in a quick time. Okay, so beta, the economic system decides who control the production, distribution and use of resources. Up till now, the chapter was teaching you by there are producers making products, consumers buying products, and both of this relation depends on the resources, availability of resources. But now there is a body who is actually regulating what to be produced, how much to be produced, for where to be produced, who will buy and etc. And that is what the government of different nations, and these governments work differently. First type of government is, or first type of economy is planned economy. ठीक है, first type of economy is बच्चा what? Planned economy. Who decides here? See beta, planned economy is a type of economy in which all the decisions are authorized by the central government. That means they are taken from a central body. There will be a commission. For example, there will be a planning commission who will be making the planning for the entire nation, that bhaiya this much product is to be produced. and the consumers of this nation will be buying it at this price. So everything is decided by a central authority, that is government. So ownership, obviously when government is deciding that, the resources are owned by whom? The government. Like I will tell you the example. You are feeling like that, ma'am, is it Tata is making some products, it will be counted by the government and it will be told by the government to them that you need to produce this much of Nexon car this year? No. Why? Because Indian economy is different. I'm here talking about planned economy. Yes, in a planned economy, by government or the central authority takes every decision, the resources are owned by the government. Basically, they are public resources, but actually they are government owned only, right? When this type of system is there, na beta, there is low competition. Why? Because private individuals do not have a say in the market, right? They cannot bring any new product according to their way, because beta, whenever the resources are government owned, right, whenever the resources are government owned, their production will be with the objective of welfare of the people, that we produce something that is less in paisa. That means it is not that expensive that people can't afford it. And they will be making what? Something that's equitable for the population, something that's same for the population, right? Because it is made by the central authority, not on the basis of your choices, rather on the basis of your needs. Okay, so yeah, some countries like former USSR, if you know that before Russia, it was collectively USSR, United States, something like this, okay, and there was North Korea, Cuba. These are the three countries which worked on the system of planned economy. However, we have an economy that is market economy. By totally the production, how much will be produced, how much will be consumed, where will be consumed, will there be exports, how much there will be imports, everything depends upon the market demand and supply. Okay, so how much is the demand in the market? Produced. Okay, supply. So it is mainly private individuals and firms taking the stands on. It is products here have higher or better quality, because if one company is making a product, the other will see, acha, this is in demand, let me make a cheap version of it. Or this product has less quality, bad quality, I will make a better product than that. So there will be competition, and each competition depends upon the demand and supply in the market. Example, USA, Japan, Hong Kong. Next is about the economy we follow. In India, do you believe that everything is planned by the government and every land, every resources is owned by them? No. But do we believe that we follow market economy, that every decision is taken by private individuals? No, yaar. There are a lot of things in which government are doing, like railways owned by the government, highways owned by the government, toll tax collected by the government. We can see both the individuals here, government as well as private. That is known as mixed economy. That's known as what, bacha? Mixed economy, where there is intervention of government plus private sector. That is known as both public and private, which is regulating the competition, because if government feels that I cannot give railways to the private individuals, they will make it expensive, which will not be affordable by the people. So beta, all the basic needs, like you will be having government hospital in your city as well as private hospital too. So the people, some choose to go to government, some choose to go to the private one. This type of economy is known as what, beta? Mixed economy. Okay? Now, question is, do we follow mixed economy? Haan bhai, but not before 1991. Not before 1991. Before 1991, we were choosing closed economy that was based upon this planned economy system. Why? Because we had a fear of what? Colonialism. Why did we become the British colony? Because they came to India for trading. They were so much obsessed by the Indian products that they came to India to buy all those products, and then find out that, arey bhai, we can have a political control and gain more profit from this country. So that fear was in our mind, that if we open the economy, lead any other individual enter into the nation, we can again get caged into that, what we can say, the colonialism system or imperialism one, and hence we kept it closed for some times. But beta, the situation in the country became worst in 1991, and then we choose to do so. I will explain this topic to you also. Before that, I will tell you that mixed economy is followed in Germany and Sweden also. So how many economic systems are existing in the world, bacha? There are 3 economic systems: planned, planned as well as market economy and the mixed one, right? And what do we follow? We follow the mixed economy. Let's have a brief intro about planned. Government decides everything. There is a central authority. All the resources are owned by the government, like land, factories, banks and transport. So it does not mean that there are no private individuals. There are beta, but it work on the system of permits and license. Only this government can permit them to work, give the license, and they can even the government can even regulate your production too. So here the competition chances is very low. Examples are written there. Similarly, we have market economy, in which everything is not decided by the government. Okay, rather the demand and supply decided. Government is the referee, just telling, alright, go for it. Okay, so what, how and how much to be produced is not decided here by the government, rather the flow of market and supply, demand and supply. So here it will be encouraging, because of the demand and supply, private individual has a free say in producing and consuming in the market. Okay? However, government act as a referee means they have certain laws, beta. Laws that we have to control this. This is not to be produced. Like for example, there is a tablet or a drug that is harmful for the citizens. So it does not mean that it is demanded in the market, they will produce it. In market economy, government act as a referee, telling them what to produce, what not to produce, but the quantity depends upon market and supply. Clear? Similarly, we have a mixed economy, beta, in which government and market both play a role and gives us mixed economy. We have private firms, we have government firms. In this, government actually is what we can say regulating everything. Okay? But this shift has been seen after 1991. Why? We had a financial crisis. What do we had? Financial crisis. Bacha, what happened now? 1991, before that 1947. So during this period of time, we had a closed economy because of the fear of colonialism. Now what happened in 1991? We were not exporting that much. We were not active in the world economy at that time. 1991, what happened now? It was only 1 week of amount of money left in the foreign reserve, that we could not be able to buy more than 1 week of fuel. And that was so challenging, and hence USA as well as some big organizations like International Monetary Fund and World Bank advised us to make our economy open, to make our economy mixed. Let private individual comes in. We will say that it should be regulated by the government, but let them enter. So both private, government makes economic decisions here regarding the innovations. See, here private take the decisions, government only is the referee. Okay, it's not involving so much, and none of the production is done by government. Pay attention in market, no production. But here both government and private are producing, like Indian Railways, government, BHEL, government, Sale Authority of India, government, minerals are controlled by government, dams are built by government, electricity is generated by government. But in the same nation, we have Tata, Mahindra, we have Adani, Ambani, and a lot of private individuals making their own products. Clear now? So this is the difference between mixed as well as the private wala, market wala, if you were confused about it. So this is actually the chapter about, and here the chapter ends. Okay, so let me tell you, bacha, we started with the introduction of basic points, bullet points, by what to produce, for whom to produce, how to produce. Okay? Then we were talking about needs and wants in an economy. We were talking about our day-to-day life, that what do we think, but everything depends upon economic choices. Then we learned about 4 factors factors of production: land, labor, capital. One more is added, that is technology. Do not forget it. Okay. Then we studied about what beta economics survey, right? How there are the producers, consumers, the government and the market play a role in the economic decisions of a nation. So we saw economic survey, and then certain what systems, economic systems in the world. So this is the key takeaway you are taking from the chapter. This chapter is not so big, you will just cover it quickly. And if you are struggling with the books, bacha, I added the notes in the description box. You can directly go and download the session PDFs and enjoy learning it, right? I hope that we get the book in the month of July. It's super late by CBSE and we all are affected by it. And the person who is affected the more is you students. We are somewhere working here and there to make this content available for you. So study well. We are just hoping this. Somewhere it happens with you. I just hope that same thing does not happens with you in the next year. We wish that CBSE don't repeat this mistake again. So all the best, bacha. Stay positive, learn economics, learn SST with me. So do not forget your Tanvi Mam. Do not forget to come in the next live sessions. I'm going to take on the same channel. Just stay connected to us because you can check on the public posting, that community posting. We post every day what we are going to do today. Okay, we post the live sessions in advance, just you can have a clear visibility what we are going to do next. Rest, the lectures are coming. Some around 7 chapters are already uploaded by me for your class 9 so that you don't struggle to find the content here and there. Okay, take care, bye bye.